And okay, there we go. Oh, we're almost there. Okay. This close. Come on, girl. You're come on. You're hard though. I mean, come on. Like 2 minutes? Well, anyway, how are you? Hi everybody. Come on in, say hello. When you come on, thank you, girl. I appreciate you. What's going on, people? How's everybody's week? Y'all believe this week went pretty fast. Like I just feel like it was just Monday, like yesterday. It's Friday. So say hello when you come in. Let me know how your week has been. Who's at work right now? Because I know a lot of people work night shifts. We're trying on the operation. Hello, cookies, baby. How are you? We don't do African time. African time is like if if a party's at 6, like it's supposed to start at 6, you better tell an African that it's starting at 3, because they won't get there till 6. No, I don't do that really. I may not be there at 6, but I'll be there before 6:30. But that's what it is. Well, anyway, hi everyone. This is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, Immigration Attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, if it's an immigration case types that we handle, give us a call, 334-341-4475. Visit our website, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Send us an email, info@𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓�𝒏𝒕. Party at 6 African time is 6. It's not even 7:30. It's like 8:30 or 9. Like 6 o'clock. An African is just taking a shower. I saw it was a skit that I saw that. They said the party was at 6 or whatever. The African person was just in the shower. The wedding was over. Well, anyway, once again, our contact information is 334-341-4475. Same number in WhatsApp. We don't have any other number. No area code outside of 334-341. If it doesn't start with those 6 digits, know that that's not my office. Visit our website whenever you get a chance. Very, very easy site to browse through. You can get most answers to the questions you have. Like and share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Olale Immigration, on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. I hope everyone has had a blessed week so far, and hopefully we finish out strong tomorrow and Saturday, God willing. Let's talk immigration, people. So if you're on YouTube and Facebook, the contact information remains scrolling on your screen. If you are on Instagram, Miss Illinois Sanctuary and Ms. Ben are really, really good in making sure you've got that contact information. So reach out, let us help you with your immigration case. We will be honored to do that. Today, my girl, Carla, is celebrating 2 years with the LA law firm. I don't know if she's watching, but if you've been a client of my firm, and I see 1 or 2 people that Carla has worked on your cases, she is that girl that, knock on wood. Hello, Mr. Speaker. She's worked with me for 2 years now. God bless her heart. Because y'all know a lot of people can't work with me. If you can work with me, you can work with anybody. It's not that bad, but I think so. But she's celebrating 2 years with the LA law firm. We are so happy. We are honored to have Carla as, hello, Miss Abena, as one of our team members. She is dedicated. She takes criticism very constructively. She does. She probably cusses me on her breath, but that's okay. But she has been a blessing. She's been a blessing to us, and we are very, very grateful. Anyway, thank you. It's actually a jumpsuit, and I was telling someone in court because I had court this morning, and so they're like, yeah, it's a jumpsuit. It looks like, because I live in jumpsuits now, because why not? But let's talk immigration. So tonight we're talking about what happens to your I-751 when what happens to your pending I-751 if your spouse leaves meaning they leave the marriage, they want to get a divorce, you can find them, but you guys have already filed a joint I-751 petition. What are the options you have? Does it mean that you have to withdraw that petition? How do you move forward from there so that you can get your 10-year green card? Let's talk about that. Once again, contact number is 334-341-4475. You can also send a text to that number. On WhatsApp, we only take text messages. If you need to call, you've got to call direct office number, same number, but direct line when we're open from 8:30 to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. What happens if you've got an I-751 and your spouse decides to leave? Meaning you guys file the petition together, joint petition, which is a general requirement, but there are exceptions. So you file a joint petition together, and now your spouse leaves the marriage. What are the options you have? So I-751 is what you file to go from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, meaning you got married, you got your green card, initial green card, and you were granted a 2-year green card because at the time your I-485 was approved, your marriage was still less than 2 years to your petitioner. So in that case, USCIS will issue you a 2-year green card. Before the expiration of the 2 years, 2nd year anniversary of that card, you're required to file an I-751, which you can file within 90 days before the 2nd year anniversary. If you've not gotten to that point, you file a joint petition, which is the general requirement. Generally, when you file an I-751, you're required to file with your spouse unless you fall within an exception. So if you file a joint petition and then because right now, you all know USCIS is issuing a 4-year extension notice for 751, 48 months, 4 years. It is taking them longer nowadays to actually adjudicate 751 petitions. Let me digress a little bit. I think USCIS they're getting things right. We filed 4 VAW cases. The 4 VAW cases that we filed the beginning of the first week in September. We got the receipt notices today. So I think things are looking, keep in mind we used to get, VAW notices like 3 months out. All 4 cases, we got the receipt notices today. I think one of them is actually less than 30 days. So things are looking up. But anyway, hopefully that is going to trickle to the 751 petition as well. But they're issuing a 48-month extension. And that's because it's taken them much longer to adjudicate 751 petitions. And that means that sometimes the marriage may, suffer. People break up, people get divorced. 4 years is a long time. 30 days is a long time. 6 months is a long time. So in a situation where you file a joint petition, you've already signed with your spouse, and that spouse decides that, they don't want to be married anymore, or they want to get a divorce, or they become, abusive towards you, or, you just know the marriage is not going to survive. Do you not have to pull your 751 petition? Or if not, what option do you have? That's where you now, first of all, consult with a lawyer if you don't have one to start with. But you would have the option of converting your joint petition to a self-petition, as long as you have grounds that you're eligible to convert to. Those grounds would include that your marriage was still entered in good faith, but you're now in the process of a divorce, and the divorce is going to be final. Your marriage was entered into in good faith, but you have been a victim of abuse. Abuse does not have to be physical. Abuse can be emotional, financial, mental, psychological, sexual, threat to immigration status, all of that qualifies for extreme cruelty. Or the third option is you don't have to prove good faith, but if you're not granted your green card, meaning you're not granted the 10-year green card, that you're going to be subject to extreme hardship. That is the hardest ground to prove, because that ground does not require you to show that your marriage was entered into in good faith. And because of that, USCIS, the burden of proof is heightened on that ground. For the most part, most people will fall within entered into marriage in good faith, but now we're in the process of divorce, or entered into marriage in good faith, but have been a victim of abuse. Now, one issue I have with a lot of people, one issue I come across is people say, as a lawyer, I want to know, 𝒂𝒏𝒕𝒔, and nothing. So how do I claim abuse? Abuse is not just physical. Abuse is not only physical. It is, if anything, I actually have more cases of abuse that are not physical, that, or non-physical abuse, that that we've gotten cases approved based on abuse grounds. So someone who leaves the marriage, what is the reasoning why they left? Did you guys get in a fight? Is it a case where they've been threatening that they're going to leave you because they're going to sabotage your immigration status? That is what extreme cruelty is about. Is it a case where they file for divorce and decide, you know what, I don't feel like seeing your face every morning ever again in my entire life, and they file for divorce? That's where you have the waiver option of divorce. Good faith, but marriage is going to end in divorce. The thing with divorce is this, however, keep in mind that USCIS, before USCIS can approve your case for based on divorce, you must have a final judgment of divorce. At the time of adjudication, if you don't have it, they'll send you an RFE to give you some time. If that time lapses before you send it in, most likely they'll deny your case. A divorce ground, you must have a final judgment order from the court that your marriage has ended. You entered into it in good faith, but the marriage is no longer. The catch-all, and a lot of people don't know that, is usually within that exception abuse waiver. You have to understand that you're looking at things because maybe you're from a country where if it's not physical violence, then it's not really considered abuse. It's not a big deal. No, that's verbal abuse. So consult with a lawyer, know what your options will be if you find yourself in a situation where your spouse now leaves, they've been threatening to leave, or they decide that they're going to make sure you don't get your green card in the country. And because of that, they've threatened all along, and now they're actually following through on their threat. That's what abuse is. Or the file for divorce, if you've been served with divorce papers and you know that it's not going back from that, then, as long as you have your proof of good faith, then that's the option you would have. Now, how do you go about converting from a joint petition to a self-petition? You do not have to file a new form. Your 751 you already filed, that's what it is. What you now have to do is you contact USCIS, the office that has jurisdiction over your case, send the information in, have a cover letter requesting to convert from a joint petition to a self-petition based on abuse, based on divorce, based on extreme hardship, and attach your supporting documents. There is no requirement for you to file a new petition. There's no requirement for you to send in new filing fee. What you already filed in, as long as that is still pending, that's the basis of your request. And then you send in your additional information. USCIS will decide whether or not you've sent in enough evidence to sustain your ground that you've requested to convert to. If not, then they'll decide to schedule an interview, bring you in, question you on whether or not you've got sufficient evidence to meet your burden. And if you have, God willing, you get your 10-year green card. So it's all hope is not lost because your spouse decided to leave the house or decided to leave the marriage when your 751 is pending. Consult with a lawyer, know what your options are. You've got rights as an immigrant. God did not bring you this far for somebody else to decide, rug from under you. It's not going to happen, especially not under my watch. It's not going to happen. But that's how you go about that if you ever find yourself in that kind of situation. And that's all she wrote, people. Very short, very straight to the point. Let's get to questions. Okay, let me get this off the... I got my boys. So my oldest kid is home from college. Y'all, I love when my kids are home. Got fall break. So I think a lot of schools have fall break. Like it's a 9 weeks. I think it's a 9 weeks period now. I think so. So that's usually fall break. Is it 9 weeks already? It's 9 weeks, right? Like this is the end of the 9 weeks? Huh? So y'all gonna have like your 9 weeks grade? That's the first 9 weeks grade, right? Your grade better be no less than 95.
No, they're all 90.
98 and above. Why is it 98? Why is it not 100? What happened to the 2 points?
Now only have a 98 and 2, and I have 99 and 3.
What happened to the 1 point? You don't know. You got missing in school?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay. Good job though. We'll go look for the points. I think most schools, I don't know how it works, but in the South, that's 9 weeks. I think most schools work that way. It's like, just asking, what happened to these points? You know, did they get missing? Somebody take them, you know, just, yeah. Okay, Miss Ernest, you've lost it. You have lost it completely. Justice for TJ's grades. I'm just saying. I mean, what happened to the points? What did you want them? I mean, let's just asking a question. Anyway, okay. NM, good evening. How are you? If USCIS cashed your check, does that mean that your VA and AOS application is accepted? If they cash your check, yes, most likely. Disclaimer, general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. So all answers to whatever questions we discuss each night, just general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. But if you see that it's cash your check, and that's why, for instance, my clients, I always tell them, send a money order in or make it payable to my firm, and we write a business check. Because for me, I love to have the satisfaction when I can look into my account and I see that check number with the name of the client and it's been cashed. That's my first consolation or confirmation that the filing has been accepted. So generally, yes, that's a good sign that your filing has been accepted. Generally. Do you need a different lawyer for VA if you already have one for marriage-based case, or can you use the same lawyer? Absolutely great question. Hear me loud and clear, people. I've seen this happen so many times. Let me put this up a little bit. I've seen this happen so many times. The lawyer who represents you and your spouse in a regular marriage case cannot represent you in a VA case. Some do it. It is absolutely unethical for them to do. It is as serious as they can be sanctioned or suspended, but their license can be suspended. That's how serious that is. A lot of attorneys do it. Let me just say a lot. God knows how many times I've heard someone say, well, the person, my spouse didn't show up, so the lawyer now filed a VA for me. The lawyer who represents you and your spouse in a regular marriage case cannot represent you in a VA case. Do some of them do it? Yes. Should they? No. Because if the state bar gets to know, that is a heightened level of conflict of interest, where you're basically using information that you already got while representing both clients, and now using that information for one client against the other. You cannot do that. Cannot. Just so you know. When VA is approved, how can you notify USCIS about your I-485? What do you mean, how can you notify? I don't understand your question. If someone's individual hearing has been scheduled in one state and they move to another state, can they transfer the case and will the hearing change? What you would do generally is you would need, if you don't have a lawyer in your case, you would need to request for the court to change venue and show them proof that you have actually indeed relocated to another state, to include maybe your driver's license, utility bill, something to show that you're now residing in that new state. And then you file a motion with the court for motion for change of venue. You serve the DHS attorney, and most courts will grant that they'll grant you your change of venue. Now, some courts actually hold virtual hearings on WebEx, and that means you can attend that hearing from anywhere. Then if that's the kind of court you're in, they may not grant it because you're going to be able to attend anywhere anyways. So yeah. Okay. I think I want to let me start into Instagram today. Let's see. We're almost there. Okay, we're working towards it. If that 9 o'clock is going to happen, like 9 on the dot, that's going to be a miracle. Like Jesus is still in the business of miracle, kind of miracle. I'm just saying. Um. Okay. Yes, please follow, like, and share on all platforms at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Thank you. Okay. Can you talk on N400 be pending? Talk about what do you want to talk about on that? So the thing about stretching materials is that you can and just to miss a bit like this is one of my all-time favorite jumpsuits because it stretches like it's a size 4. I'm not a size 4. Well, let me take that back. I'm a size 4 on top. But see, the Ogunde sisters, you know what I mean? It's not a size 4. But because it stretches the cloth itself. So I'm able to wear because I've had this jumpsuit. How old is CJ? CJ is I know I got this when I started practicing. Okay. I've had it for almost 10 years. Since when I'm not like I used to weigh like 110 at some point. My dad thought I was sick, and then all my butt went. I'm like, no, we ain't doing this. No, I need that butt back. So, y'all, I'm telling you, when you breastfeed, TMI, because I did exclusive breastfeeding with TJ. I did not work out one day, but I lost weight to the point my dad was like, "Are you sick?" And I was like, "No, the kid I had is eating all of me." That's a fast way to burn calories breastfeeding. It's but as soon as I was done, the whole thing came like, okay, yeah. But thank you. I really do like so whenever I want to look skinny, I wear this because I know it's gonna stretch. But thank you, Isabella. Okay. Yeah, so if you're just joining us, what we talked about, and I usually upload the video and share the video to our pages, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. So you'll be able to go back and watch it. We talked about, what happens to a pending 751 after a separation, after divorce, after abuse. What are your options? And how do you move forward from that? So what is the maximum time of prima facie after getting a prima facie? What is the time limit of getting a combo card like work permit and travel document? USCIS.gov/processing time gives you your processing time and how long it takes USCIS to issue your EAD. Prima facie, there is no cap on the number of prima facie determinations you will get. You're going to keep getting the first one. The issue is for a year, and then the issue in 6-month increments, and you keep getting that until there's a decision on your file case. Please, how do I get a receipt of notice for my file case submitted July 29th? I would not say so. July, August, September. So you're about two months in a week. It's not uncommon for them to still go to like 90 days, but I'm just seeing that. For instance, I remember vividly as some of the notices we got today. I remember that we sent out. Let's see, September 7th. Whatever that Friday was when we sent out those cases. And today's October 5th. So I was like, huh? So, but it's not uncommon for you not to receive what you filed on July 29th. If by the end of October you don't receive it, then you may want, if you have a lawyer in your case, that you may ask the lawyer to use if you've previously filed a case, they can use your alien number to email them on Service Center and ask them about that. Or you can write them and provide as much information about yourself to find out if they've issued your receipt notice. Maybe it was just not delivered to you. Yeah. Thanks, Ms. Abena. Follow and subscribe. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. All righty. Is there a way I can check my status online? Status for what? What's that? Are you talking of your filed applications? Are you talking of your you're in immigration court? If you're referring to your filed applications, then USCI's case status online, and I think a lot of people use Lawfully. I've heard of that app. I've never used it. I use USCI's because that's what I would go with. But I think a lot of people swear by Lawfully that it's very accurate and all that. Yes, all questions, I try to get them. So please try not to repeat the questions so we can maximize the time. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's suggest the best. Justice Fatigue is great. Listen, I'm just a typical African mother. What can I say? That hashtag is everything. I'm telling you, she got that one. That's I should start using that one too. She gets the accurate. I'm telling you, she is like hashtag queen. From 95 and great, TJ got 98, and you started looking for two. Yeah. What can I say? I mean, I think I don't know what it is, because I remember when my mom used to do that, and I'm like, woman, did you hear me say I got a 90 or something? But now I'm my mother's child. I've become my mother. I just feel like, nobody has two heads. So if 95, that's why I said we can't get less than. So well, it's above 98. Well, okay, if you're gonna tell me, well, if you're gonna rub it in like, well, it's I and the 95 is 98. Okay, well, how about we just do the 100? Since you want to be a smart man. That's it. I said nothing less than 95, it has 98 and above. All you TJ aunties, Ekbalel, kabayim malawa and all that, so that you can all have a party. Binu, Ekbale. Do you also advocate for asylum seekers? Yes, we do asylum cases. No more than 100. The kid is going to ask me one day. So I don't know, we're talking to something. He goes, question, Mom, no offense. When TJ says no offense, when just like someone saying with all due respect, you already know they're about to disrespect you. But did you ever have a 95 and above when you were in school? Let's just leave that alone. Anyway, Justice TJ's grace. That was a nice one. Can someone that has been denied in marriage file for asylum? The requirement is to file for asylum within the first year of entry. If you do not file within the first year of entry, then you must be able to articulate that your reasoning for not filing within the first year of entry falls within one of the acceptable exceptions. If it does not, it doesn't matter how strong your asylum basis is, you will be referred to immigration court solely based on lack of filing outside the statutory period. So I say that to say this: if you've been denied a marriage case, you may want to explore whether or not you qualify for maybe a VAR option before you now get yourself in a situation where you're filing for asylum. Because if you're in a marriage case, most likely you're already way past 1 year in the country, unless you have an exception that, for instance, changes in personal circumstances. An example could be, well, I got married and my spouse filed for me. There was no reason for me to seek asylum because I thought I was going to get a green card through that process. I did not. And that's why I'm filing now within a reasonable time after being denied. That's just an example. I'm not saying that's what you should do in your case, but that's an example. Can someone file for VA even if they have gotten a deportation letter after interview? Generally, yes. Asylum was dismissed last year. My EAD was denied last month. My fiance has green card. Can he file for me? Your fiance can file an I-130 petition for you, but because you're out of status and your fiance is a green card holder, you cannot file. You cannot adjust status. USCIS will deny that. How long? The question I have for you is, how long has your fiance been a green card holder? How far out are they from becoming a citizen? because once they become a citizen, you guys get married, then you're going to be categorized as an immediate relative, and you're not required to be in status at that point. Can I file for my husband with 10 years green card? A green card holder can petition for a spouse. If your question really is about whether or not the person can adjust status if they're in the country and they're out of status, then the short answer to that is no. With all due respect is always followed by disrespect. I mean, someone says, with all due respect, what's why? Or no offense. Mine is, don't take this the wrong way. Whenever I say don't take this, I get someone's attention like, oh, okay, she's what is she about to say? I go, don't take this the wrong way. I'm just saying. Is it better to have advanced parole on the EAD card or apply separate and pay the fees? Fees is not a fees that fees do not depend on whether you're applying separately. Whether you're paying advanced parole fee or 765 fee depends on if you are filing based on a 485, and if you paid the $1,225 for the 485. If you pay the $1,225 for your 485 application, then it doesn't matter whether you're filing your EAD and advanced parole at the same time, because you already paid that fee. Then the fee is waived as long as that 485 is pending. The fee is waived for your EAD and your advanced parole, so it doesn't matter whether or not you file them together or not. Is USCIS going to contact your spouse after you file for VA? No. Can you change your asylum to marriage when your asylum is in court but pending and taking forever? It's not like you're changing asylum to marriage. If you get married while your asylum case is still pending and your I-130 gets approved, if you file a 485 with USCIS, most likely after an approval of the I-130, they will administratively close your 485 because you're in immigration court, tell you to get your proceedings terminated, and once you get that terminated, then you can go back to USCIS and adjust that to USCIS. So it's not like you can change from asylum. You just have a different immigration benefit that you are now eligible to apply for. Okay, I'm coming to TikTok, people. Let me just go back to Um, 45 was denied. Thereafter, VAL was approved. 45 reopening was requested, but yet to hear a response for about 9 months now. Do I put in a new 45 or wait for an update? What was the basis for the denial? That's where you need to start from. If you requested an abeyance and they still deny that, that's we're fighting it all day, every day. Listen, I love that kind of fight. I include everybody, ombudsman inquiry, like we're opening, and I've not had anyone. I actually do a service request to reopen, and I've not had any take more than 3 months. So the question is, what was the basis of the denial? If the denial was not due to USCIS's error, then and you don't really have a strong basis for the reopening, then you may want to consider refiling, filing a new one. 9 months is quite a bit of time. Filed EAD September 15, received receipt September 29. Do you think this is an indication that I'll get my EAD soon? It's not an indication, but it could go either way. Okay. Let's see. Hello, Miss Dilly. How are you? Good morning. Where are you? If it's morning in your place, then you must be somewhere. Are you in Nigeria or somewhere? Okay, I want to adjust status. Okay. TJ, well, this sounds like I'm calling my kid. I hope you're not expensive. I don't know. I guess that's relative. So and subjective. But if you need a consultation, we will be glad to evaluate your case for you. Contact my office 334-341-4475. I'm married with my husband. He thought he was a convict, which I found out when he was arrested again. I don't want to say your name. You may want to get your case evaluated and see if you qualify for VAW. Can I still go ahead and adjust my status? That's what I just said. So make sure you get you get information so that you can make an informed decision on your case. Been married for over 3 years now. I have my 10 years green card. When can I file for citizenship? Based on marriage, when you've had your green card for 3 years, you've been a green card holder for 3 years, and you're still married to a citizen. If not, then you have to wait for 5 years. For 5 years, as long as you've been a green card holder for 5 years. It's not about how long you've been married. It's about how long you've been a green card holder for. That's good night. Good night. Aziz, how are you? Can I still file asylum? Can I still file for asylum at 11 months? As long as you haven't been 365 days in the U.S., yes, you can. General information. How long does it take to get a green card after marriage? You can take as little as 4 months, and it can take as long as 2 years. It just depends on each person's case. If someone files for VAW but no divorce, though we end together, is this okay? There's no requirement that you have to be divorced in order to qualify for VAW. My marriage-based case is still pending, almost up to a year. I have a case that I already have on my notes because once, we had the interview. It's been almost a year. So they're about to start hearing from me. And there's a rhyme with reading with USCIs. I've got about almost 10 of those cases this year alone, from start to finish, less than at the longest 8 months. And I think maybe just 2 that we had interviewed, but all approved. And then you have those that have been pending way before the ones from this year. And it's still like we're running some background check, file background check. Let's see, like, I'm not a criminal. What's going on? So it doesn't rhyme really with USCIs, but you just follow up with them after a while. Very Nigerian Yoruba. Those who had a 100%, do they have to hit? Listen, just saying. I'm a green card holder. It's been now 4 years and 4 months. Can I apply for citizenship? 3 years as a green card holder or 5 years as a green card holder. 90 days. You can file 90 days before the 3rd year or 5th year anniversary. Is it okay to file I-45 and I-131 at the same time? If you are eligible for that, then you can do concurrent filing. There's no problem with that. What does it mean on the lawfully app ranking 37? I don't know because I don't use the app. How long will it take getting prima facie determination letter after filing? I usually give it 5 months, and I've got, if you all see the flow of my home office, and like, you think it's USCI's office. You think it's the mail room of USCI's office. Because I think we had about almost 15 prima facies that I'm looking at. But those cases range from between May and August that we filed them. So I usually give myself 5 months. And if I haven't, by the end of the 5th month, if I haven't heard from them in a particular case, unless I just don't remember, for the most part, I try to do a good job of memory. If I haven't heard from them, they're getting an email from me saying, hey, I just want to know, did you ever issue one? Are we expecting one? What's going on? So that's what I usually wait to do. Is USCI taking EB3 applications for nurses? The I-140 is a separate petition. Whether or not you're now going to be able to file a concurrent green card application depends on the priority dates, and you can see that on the visa bulletin. So that lets you know when you can file. How can I get my passport faster? I can tell you that because I have nothing to do with passport applications. Filed February 2023. I-130 approved. Got my social security number, EAD biometrics. Why I haven't received travel document? I don't know. Let's see. Okay. I like your life, but I don't understand why you ignore Aziz. I just answered your question. Please, let me say it again, people. We do questions after I have discussed the topic. Questions after topics have been discussed. So if you cannot be patient, as much as I appreciate you coming, then that's nothing I can do. So please be respectful. If you're not going to be respectful, I will block you. Very simple. Questions are answered at the end of what we have to talk about. If we have a question night, then I go from one platform to another. You've got to be patient. There's just no way around that. You've got to be patient. So nobody's ignoring your question because I just answered your question. You just have to exercise patience. TJ, you can call our office 334-341-4475. I don't offer free consultation. Let me just put it out there. You're going to have to pay to discuss your case. This is as free as it gets. We have 30 minutes, 130, 45 minutes, $200, and then 1 hour is 230. Call my office. My staff will be able to get you the information that you need. It's granted asylum about 5 years. Congratulations. Why did you wait 5 years to file for your green card? RFE medical response received 126 days. Still no decision. That's not too long. That's just 4 months. Can my citizen spouse that lived in Nigeria file for me? He has been in Nigeria since 2012. Generally, the petitioner is required to be a okay. My daughter's I-45 has been approved for 48 days now, but card is not produced. Contact your CIs and let them know. Okay. Let's see. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. All right. So let's see. What other questions do we have? I think we covered. I have a big problem. I-751 was denied, but my wife was separated and she was so bad to me. Okay. What's the question you have now? I don't want to say your name, but what's the question you have? But what's your question? I hear that. What's the question you have? With the new EAD 5 years policy, what happens to the combo card with advanced borough validity? I'm thinking, and I think we're just going to wait to see what happens especially for cases that are filed where we have concurrent I-131 and 765 filing. But nothing is being said about so far as of today, about the advanced parole application, how that's going to work. EAD is the only one they say they're extending the validity for 5 years. Now, when they extended the EAD for 2 years, there was no press release about the advanced parole separately. However, if they issued you a combo card, they were not extending the advanced parole for as long as 2 years as well, because your card would say serves as advanced parole. So I guess once we start receiving the 5-year EADs, that would allow us to know whether or not, even though there's no press release on that, if it's still going to serve as the I-512 documents. And if it's going to serve as that, then that would mean that would be equally as good for 5 years. But we'll just have to wait to see what happens. I think we got your EADs, and we filed concurrent I-131s with them, and those were approved as well. So let's just see how that goes. Okay. So what is your question? It's still the same question I'm asking. So what is the question you have? So how about we do this? How about you call my office, 334-341-4475. Yes, because your 751 has been denied, basically your denial would say we've terminated your status. And if you don't have a status, then you're no longer allowed to travel, work. But the fact that it was denied does not stop you from refiling a new 751. And the earlier you file a new one, the better, so that you're not going to be placed in deportation or removal proceedings. So we will be glad to help you figure that out. So the denial of a 751, a joint petition, is not the end. That you've got to evaluate your case and see what options you have moving forward. And once you refile, then you'll get the new extension notice, and that puts you back where you are able to work and or travel. Okay. Let's see. I think I got some more questions here. Are you accepting mentees at this time? I'm not. I got sometimes I don't know if I'm going to come in the day, so I'm sorry. I have some people that I'm mentoring, but check back with me maybe a year from now. Let's see. Okay, I think I already answered that question. All right, that's the last question I answered. How long can I take to adjust my status after marriage? There's no USCIS.gov for first time is where you need your go to, but every case is different. I've got cases that were approved in 4 months from start to finish, some 8 months, some still pending over a year. It just depends on, and it depends on what state you live in, how much evidence you're sent in. There's a lot of factors that go into determining how soon your case will be approved. How long after mailing your application should you expect to receive? Depending on what kind of application you mailed in. If it's a regular marriage case, those don't take too long. VAWA cases, like I said, we got recent notices today for cases filed first week in September. So I think they're getting better. Can you pin your number? Okay, Miss Ellen, I got that. There we go. Sure, got it. Okay. Can your spouse cancel your I-751 pending petition? Your spouse cannot cancel your petition in the sense of you are the main petitioner, your spouse is a joint petitioner. However, if you file a joint petition, meaning your spouse was required to also sign, your spouse can notify USCIS that they're no longer interested in being a joint petitioner on your 751. So that technically cancels that. But what USCIS usually does is they will notify you, because you are the main petitioner. They will notify you and let you know your spouse is asking to withdraw being a joint petitioner, and give you the option of asking to convert to a self petition. USCIS will do that. So technically, they're not cancel. They can decide to not be a joint petitioner, but USCIS will notify you. Do you have a U visa? I no longer do. No. Thanks for doing this live videos. God bless you. Thank you. Okay, people. I think my fiance lives in Nigeria and I'm moving over with him. God bless you. Once we are married, cannot file while there. You can, but as long as you're still, your residence is still here. But maybe you guys want to consider fiance visa. That's going to probably be a faster route than the spousal visa. Just something to think about. The good thing about spousal visa is you complete everything on the other side, and they come in, they turn in their package, the green card is mailed to them. Fiance visa, you still have some filing to do when you get here, but it's just that it's easier for them to get here with the fiance visa than the spousal visa is taking longer. Yes, you can transfer to another embassy and all that good stuff, but just something to consider. I've been on your live a few times asking this question about the COVID vaccine. Jessica, I don't think I've seen your question about the COVID vaccine. So what is your question about the COVID vaccine? If USCIS keeps renewing your notice, doesn't mean everything is okay with your VAC case. So when you say keeps renewing your notice, I haven't seen you signatures in a while. When you say keep renewing your notice, do you mean the prima facie determination? Because that's the only thing they keep renewing. Is that what you're asking? Do you see? Generally, the Vermont Service Center will send a prima facie determination. The first one is 6 months, and then they will issue you every 6 months. The first one is 1 year, then they issue one for every 6 months until your VAC petition has been approved. So I'm not really sure. Maybe she moved, maybe she changed attorneys. I don't know, but that should, the first one, it's not the end of it. Okay, prima facie. So yes, it is. Let me see your question. They're going to keep renewing, giving you a 6-month extension until your VAC case has been approved. So it's not, it doesn't, the fact that they keep renewing doesn't mean your VAC case is going to be approved. It just means your VAC is suspended. That's basically what it means. Okay. All right. Let's see. It's Gabrielle, it's about the same process in the sense that you file the petition here and then they apply for the visa at the embassy. The main difference is just that on a spousal visa, you're applying for an immigrant visa, which is the equivalent of the green card. On a fiance visa, you're applying for a non-immigrant visa, and then they have to come in. You get married within 90 days, and then you file for the green card here. It's just a shorter time at the embassy's level when it comes to the fiance visa compared to the spousal visa. My husband is here in the U.S. He's originally from Nigeria. We're doing his adjustment status. How hard is it to get an exemption for the COVID vaccine? He has never had a vaccine at all. I couldn't tell you how hard it is. You just have to file for the waiver and see what USCI says. If he has a religious exemption, then just put that in whatever the basis of the exemption. Because if you look at the I-693, it would list all the exemptions for those who are not going to be taking the vaccine, or why because people have religious beliefs, medical reasons, whatever the case may be. So you just have to see. But I couldn't tell you whether or not it's something that's going to be approved. A friend of mine, they keep giving him extension instead of his 10-year green card since 2021. So what's the question for your friend? What's the question for your friend? Okay. All right, people. So you would have to pay and schedule a consultation to discuss your case. I don't offer free consultations. How long can you travel after receiving receipt? How long can you travel after receiving receipt? After you, okay. I'm assuming what you're asking is how long can you travel for, like stay outside the country, after you have received your extension notice subsequent to you filing the conditional the 751 petition. Is that what you're asking? Let me know if that's what you're asking. Then, but I'm assuming that's what you're asking. I usually don't advise to stay outside the country for more than 30 days. That's just me. Okay, that's just me. I don't know what you want to travel for, but the whole point of the extension notice is as long as the extension notice is still valid and you have your green card, even if it's expired, you must travel with your extension notice and your green card while you're at 751 is pending, because those two documents are required in order for you to come back in. In lieu of that, you have to get an I-551 stamp in your passport. But I tell my clients, please don't stay more than 30 days. Sometimes some say 60 days, but I've never had anyone not be able to come in as long as you have those documents to come in. Okay. All right, people. Thank you once again, every Tuesdays and Thursdays, for joining and taking time to come together and share good news. Sometimes we don't always get good news. It's just the way, that's just the reality of what I do. But in spite of that, we still have reason to give God the glory in spite of whatever it is that is situation, because we know that a failed plan does not equate a failed God. A failed plan does not equate a failed God. That is just the way it is. I have a scheduled consultation with you next week, Monday by 4 p.m. All right. See you then. Keep in mind, one more thing. And consultation times are all in Alabama Central Standard Time. Because we have so many people calling like, Cecilia, Zoom for like 1 hour. No, Cecilia will show up. Just know that Alabama time, for instance, if you are in like Atlanta, which is Georgia, you're going to be an hour ahead. If you're in Texas, we have the same time. If you are in New York, you're going to be an hour ahead. If you're in California, you're going to be 2 hours behind me. So just know that whatever time you select when you set up a consultation with us, it is Alabama Central Time, and it states that in bold font. And it would also give you your time. The time is going to be in your time zone, so you know what time to get on the consultation wherever you are at that point. So we make it very, very straightforward. But if when in doubt, just call my office. My staff is really, really helpful. They'll let you know what time it will be on your end, or send a text to us on WhatsApp. Lydia is very, very, she's always on that and will send that to you. You're welcome, Miss Muji. But let's keep hoping against hope. And we've seen so many, this platform, we've seen so many miracles happen. Just coming together and encouraging one another and praying for one another, and people coming back and saying, you know what, I was worried about this worked out well. In my head, I'm thinking of so many people that has happened for. Just because, there's nothing that beats coming together in agreement in a positive environment, because there's a lot of negativity out there. I have zero tolerance for it. Zero. It's just the way I choose to live my life. There's enough negativity in the world. So if we can create a space where we come together and we believe in faith and hope and believe that God is still God, regardless of what our circumstances may look like, then it's that, I mean, that there's so much, the mind is a powerful thing. When your mind, the Bible says that if the mind can conceive it, your hands can achieve it. The mind is a powerful thing. If you're filled with good thoughts and things that are going to prosper you and going to work in your favor, it becomes reality. And conversely, if you're never seeing yourself breaking through or having a breakthrough or scaling or succeeding, then don't be surprised if you don't. So the mind is a powerful thing, and the tongue and the mind working together in unison for your good, and as the word of God says that our expectations should not be cut off. I strongly believe that as long as we keep hoping against hope, in spite of it, that God will always show up. It doesn't matter. A failed plan is not a failed God. And that's one thing that I've learned, and I keep learning to just embrace and to keep holding on to. So I thank you guys. Thank you guys for always joining, and let's just keep supporting one another. Yes, I have a friend that we went to school together, Mr. K. I don't know if he's watching, but his asylum case was denied. I didn't represent him. He had an excellent attorney represent him in Texas. His asylum case was denied with another attorney initially. They were referred to immigration court. And I think it was yesterday that he got his order where the judge granted his asylum. But we chatted briefly, and he said, at some point we almost gave up. But when your hope is in something that is higher and bigger than you, and for me, that is God, that is Jesus. When you know that you've got this higher being, that you've just put it at the altar of grace, at the feet of mercy, knowing that God he says, cast my burden upon, cast your burden upon the Lord. It's hard because we're warriors. I'm a warrior, but I have to remind myself that, because if I cannot do it myself, then I have to understand that the person, the creator that has created me, is more than able, and leave it at the throne of grace and let him do what he knows how to do best. So my friend had been here for years, and now he can breathe a little and know that his family is safe. So it doesn't matter how long it is. The fact that the plan fails does not mean God has failed. It just means that plan failed, and he's got another one in store. So let's just keep going. Yes. So let's just keep going each and every day, and just trusting and believing that he hasn't brought us this far to let us fail. Thank you, God, every single time. And I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend.